Ladies and gentlemen, it is here. It is NFL week number 7. Is this the lucky week? Is this the week you luck out a victory? Is this the week that the Commanders get lucky and beat the Giants? Is this the week where the Giants get lucky and beat the Commanders? We are going to see very soon. This might be the lucky week you take down a DraftKings championship. We are here to help you each and every step of the way. This is the Parlay, the best television show not on television, Awthentik and The Beard. Without further ado, and let me say, world famous, Awthentik. If you haven't seen the news on Twitter, make sure you check it out. I'm sure he's going to tell you about it. The best co-host in the universe, Mr. Awthentik. Come on in here and let's get this.
Come on down.
Come on down.
That's one of my favorite shows. I wasn't going to tell anybody about that. You know me, man. I be trying to keep it pretty chill, man. But Killers of the Flower Moon came out this week. I had the pleasure of working on some audio with the legend Fred Yonay from Washington, D.C., harmonica player. So if you do get a chance to go check out that movie, when you get to see these killing scenes and you hear those harmonicas in the background, that was recorded by me. And shout out to the homie Zach Dawson for lending us the studio to get that all handled as well, man. But yeah, man, I'm doing all right. I think we're going to need a little bit more luck. On this Sunday than y'all are. I'm happy it's a 1 o'clock game. You know what I'm saying? I think that gives us a good fighting chance for our New York Giants. And like I said on Twitter, man, this is all money in right now. This is all the chips to the table. If the Giants don't win this game, it's going to start to look, very, very Memphis bleak out here. So, we're going to try to figure things out today against them Commanders.
Okay, quick rapid-fire question. One answer, because I can ask these because I can't answer them because I suck at it, okay?
Facts.
All right. Whose fan base reacts worse to a loss today, the Commanders or the Giants?
I think the Commanders, actually. Yeah, I really do, because y'all are more in position right now. I mean, sitting at 3-3 right now, 500. Y'all really got a shot, and this is a game that on the schedule you probably looking at it like at this point you should win this game. Yeah. You already lost a tough one to the Chicago Bears. You can't lose another one like that to a team that's kind of just hanging around. New York Giants are just hanging around.
It's going to be very interesting. Shout out to everybody in the chat. We see you guys. We see all the questions. We are going to get to the questions. If you have any fantasy football questions throughout the show, drop them in the chat. We will answer them as we move along in the show. Big shout out. I have to give one big shout out to my guy, Brother L. Just in case you missed it, on Thursday night, you were the first person I talked about, the first person I talked to, the first person I gave flowers to for the Dallas Cowboys.
He picked the dandelion out of somebody's yard on the way back home, showed up on the doorstep. Yeah, that was it. It was nothing too crazy. Nothing to go back and go replay. It was nothing too crazy.
Yeah, it's gonna be a wild week. Thankfully, we don't have to talk about the Dallas Cowboys. I don't have to eat any crow, give any flowers, or rain on anybody's parade. So that's a good thing for everybody. But big shout out. We appreciate all the love across all the platforms. We're going to jump right into the section that proves to be one of the most difficult ones week in and week out. And it's the one that, as a fantasy football team manager / owner, it can be very, very difficult. Whatever you do, don't bench Amari Cooper if I tell you to bench Amari Cooper moving forward, okay? But these are going to be our Week 7 sit-ems. Our Week 7 hit-ems. Damn it, I almost forgot.
Sit me. You got to get there. I think you can get it. I think
the sit me.
With rehearsal, I think we'll get there.
All right, so I do not have Amari Cooper, thank God, which means you should probably sit him, because when I don't sit him,
This is true.
Well, just a little heads up for everybody. But there are a lot of injuries going into this week. A lot of injuries. A lot of people have been placed on the IR. One of the more difficult situations this week is going to be eerily similar to the Chicago Bears situation of last week, and that's going to be the Los Angeles Rams. Kyren Williams has turned out to be an absolutely amazing feature in that offense this season. He was top 10, sort of, borderline when it comes to running back plays in fantasy, but they lost everybody on their running back roster. So they have a slew of different running backs this week, and what's really interesting is there was the rookie kid who everybody thought was going to be the guy moving forward now that Kyren Williams is out. They have him at number 3 on the depth chart right now. They activated Royce. We got some old school names here. Royce Freeman,
That's an old school one right there.
former Denver Broncos running back. And then we got Darrell Henderson, former Los Angeles Rams running back. So my suggestion here is just to stay away from all the Rams running backs this week. If you are forced to, you're an absolute jam and you're forced to play one of those guys, I personally would go Royce Freeman, but ideally stay away from all of them.
It sounds like 2019 or something over
yeah,
there.
it's kind of crazy. And then also the situation at the quarterback's position for the Chicago Bears and Los Vegas Raiders is an absolute disaster. If you're a fan of one of those teams, I feel for you. This is why depth is so important in the National Football League, because people just go down left and right. So I would imagine both of those teams wish they had Tyrod Taylor right now playing backup quarterback for them. So I'm going to stay away from DJ Moore. Matter of fact, I'm going to stay away from the entire Chicago Bears offense because I don't even know. Dude, their running back situation, we talked about it when I was talking about the Rams situation. It's just a whole bunch of guys. Who knows who's going to get the touches?
Deontay Foreman could be the guy today.
I thought he was a guy too, because both you and I like him. You just don't know what's going to happen. So I'm staying away from the Rams, staying away from the Chicago Bears this week.
Yeah, I definitely feel you on that. I'm kind of staying away from a game here. It's the Falcons and the Bucks. Tyler Allgeier's got to go. Got to definitely sit on that bench. Hasn't eclipsed 51 yards rushing since week 1. It's been a long time for him. Just 3.2 yards per carry. And then Rachaad White as well, going against the Falcons. 46.4 yards per game. He was a guy I felt like people thought was going to have a much better season. You know, there wasn't a lot of competition in that backfield entering the year. He's just at 3.3 yards per carry. He only has 1 touchdown on the year. So I'm sitting both of them in that game. And I'm not going to reach and try to find a third one, to sit here, because we're third way through the season here. So it's like we kind of know what players are out there and what players aren't out there. But that game I'm definitely staying away from as far as the rushing game goes.
Yeah, I think now we're getting to the point where it's like the sit-ems are, okay, you got to give me somebody for me to tell you to sit the other person or not. Like, it's getting very difficult. And speaking of which, we do have some questions in the chat that we're going to go ahead and get to really fast, kind of help you decide who you should sit and who you should start based upon the players on your rosters. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up and drop those questions in the chat as we move along. Big shout out to our guy. First guy in the building every parlay. Mr. Juan Pena. Big shout out to Juan. Appreciate you as always. I got to do one of these when I was getting ready to read Juan's questions because they can get a little deep here. Who for my wide receiver 1 and 2 and flex spot? So we're picking 3 players here, 2 receivers and 1 flex. Tyler Lockett, Jacoby Myers, Curtis Samuel, Amari Cooper, Romeo Doubs, Jordan Mason, or A.J. Dillon. Dillon is going to – oh, man, this is tough. DK Metcalf's a little bit banged up, so Tyler Lockett's looking like he's going to be wide receiver 1 this week. I don't know if DK is going to play or not. I don't think he practiced all week long.
DK ain't been getting the targets either. I mean, for a guy that they paid some money to, he hasn't been getting the targets anyway. Tyler Lockett been going off.
Jacoby Myers has had a pretty good year, but once again, Brian Hoyer, I guess I'm not as down on Brian Hoyer as I would be down on the Chicago Bears backup quarterback, but still, you're looking at a backup quarterback in an offense that's already struggling. Curtis Samuel has been very good over the last 3 weeks, double-digit fantasy points in each one of the last 3 weeks. We've talked about Amari Cooper, I feel like, more than anybody else today already. Romeo Doubs, Green Bay going against a really bad Denver defense. Jordan Mason is a wild card because you're talking about if Christian McCaffrey plays or not, and that's Monday night. So, and then A.J. Dillon, who I also really like this week. Aaron Jones is banged up. I'm going to get rid of Jordan Mason. Unless I have Christian McCaffrey, Jordan Mason is not going to be in the equation for me. So my 2 wide receivers are going to be Tyler Lockett and I have to go Amari Cooper.
You're buying a lot of time there.
Tyler Lockett, Amari Cooper are my wide receivers 1 and 2, and I think I'm going to go Doubs in my flex.
There you go. I thought it was an easier question. Doubs, the matchup against the Broncos, you got to take that. So either Dillon or Doubs. I think I'm going Doubs. I think they'll be passing the ball. It should be a closer game. I like Tyler Lockett off the break going against the Cardinals. And then, Amari Cooper's a must. Amari Cooper's a must at this point. He's having big games. It don't matter who's playing quarterback. I think they said Deshaun Watson has a shot at playing this week, or was that next week?
I think it's this week. I think it's this week. I think he is projected to be playing, but I believe they brought Walker back up from the practice squad again. So
Cooper had that big game with Walker, so I mean, it really don't matter either way. I like those three though. I'm in agreement with you.
All right, big shout out to Juan. His second league, 2 flexes, 3 wide receivers.
Dang.
Jordan Mason, DK Metcalf, Christian Samuel, Deontay Johnson, who just got activated off the IR, Josh Downs, Jalen Warren, Tyler Algier, and Atwell. So we need 2 flexes, 3 wide receivers. I'm going to go Samuel. I'm going to go Deontay Johnson.
Ooh.
No. Well, yes. So it's 2 flexes and 3 wide receivers. So I got to pick 5. Samuel, Johnson, Downs, Atwell. I mean, put Metcalf in, and if he doesn't play, then you put in Jalen Warren.
Yeah, I like that. You got to go Metcalf, Curtis Samuel. I don't know about Deontay Johnson, though. That even when he's healthy, the chemistry with Kenny Pickett is just never there. He's always seems to be just complaining on the field. I might swap him out for Algier, even though I have Algier in the sit-em section. There's not a lot of players to pick from here. I definitely like Tutu Atwell in the mix too. So yeah, I'd probably just swap out Deontay Johnson and bring in Algier. That'd probably be the only thing, or maybe even Jalen Warren. You can rely on some red zone, some close goal line touchdown type stuff.
Then Juan wants to know if he should drop Jordan Mason for Kareem Hunt. Kareem Hunt's game time decision today too. So I don't know if it makes sense unless you can make it happen right when the injury news comes out. So I would stay glued to the injury news to see about Kareem Hunt.
What about for the future? You think it's a good future move? I mean, Nick Chubb is out for the year.
He is, and I feel like Jerome Ford has been doing really well, but it looked like last week Kareem Hunt was RB1. Right. So I mean, like it depends. For me, it doesn't look like McCaffrey's going to be out for a very long period of time. So, and then obviously, even with Jordan Mason, say McCaffrey's hurt, Jordan Mason and Elijah Mitchell are going to be splitting the backup running back carries. So, for me, if you're looking long term, I'd probably would do it. If you're looking this week, you just have to keep your eyes closed to see if Kareem Hunt's game time decision, if he's going to be in or out.
Yeah, I'm with you on that.
And our weekly Justin Herbert or Brock Purdy tweet.
49ers got the Vikings defense. I mean, that should be a good game.
It should be.
But Herbert and the Chiefs.
Shootout. I'm going Herbert.
I'm going Herbert too. Yeah.
This is an interesting question. Big shout out to our guy Max Webster. Day one says Darren Waller or Sam Laporta at tight end. Says he's also playing golf in Amon-Ra. Laporta probably has the lower floor, but don't want to overload fantasy with one offense.
Yeah.
I understand that for sure. I don't know, that Detroit offense just seems to be very powerful. I think that you can with golf is going to be your guy anyways. I just feel like Amon-Ra and Laporta are guaranteed when it comes to targets. So for me, it doesn't bother me to overload with those 3 particular people. I do think Darren Waller has a great opportunity going up against the Washington, middle of the field linebackers. We talked about that on our preview show, but I still think I go Laporta, Goff, and Amon-Ra.
Yeah, you kind of convinced me there because, I mean, it's stacked with 2 different players as well. So if you get a touchdown, that's going to get you some good points. And the Giants have been struggling to score touchdowns. I think today they are going to look a little bit better on offense. I think they'll be able to find a way to get in the end zone, but I'm not sure if it's going to be Darren Waller. It's tough. I don't think it'll hurt you if you went Darren Waller over Laporta because Darren Waller has been getting a lot of receptions. Last week he did play well, especially in the second half. I think he had 5 receptions total. But I don't think you could go wrong. I like what the Beard is saying there. I'd go Laporta as well. The stack opportunities definitely give you some advantages to get some more points.
And our last question before we go into the sleeper section is going to be our guy, your guy, everybody's guy. C-Bands never stay lacking 45. Pick 3: Waddle, Jahan, Judy, and Zay. Okay.
I'm not going Judy. I'm leaving Judy off. Judy has struggled since coming back. And I looked at a video from Alex Rollins that came out on Saturday morning that some of the things that they're copying over there with Sean Payton that he's been trying to bring from the New Orleans Saints offense, which normally would set up your slot wide receiver to have an advantage against slower personnel going up against linebackers. They're actually not using their slot wide receivers in those instances. They're using a tight end. I forget the dude's name. So I don't like Jerry Jeudy. Not that he can't have a big game today. I'm not high on Jerry Jeudy right now. Jahan Dotson has had a drop issue as well. So, I mean, it's them two who I'm choosing from as far as that third spot. But, I mean, the Giants' defense has not been good. The Giants' defense has struggled to stop the run, 31st in the league right now. So I think that's going to open up some play-action stuff, and you might see the big play over the top from Jahan Dotson today. So I'd go those three, Waddle, Dotson, and Zay Flowers.
I'm going to double down on what Awthentik said. I mean, the real question is Jahan Dotson or Jerry Jeudy. And it's tough because both of those guys who you thought were going to have breakout years it just hasn't happened yet. But like for the reasons that Awthentik stated, I'm going to throw Jahan Dotson in there, cross my fingers, and say Hail Mary because we need Jahan Dotson to have himself a game here this year at some point. So big shout out to C-Bands. Never stay lacking. All right, we are going to try to wake up. If you haven't woken up already, get yourself a cup of coffee. This is going to be our top sleepers for Week 7. Hit me! All right, Awthentik. Who you got this week for the sleepers?
All right, let's see who we got for these sleepers. I'm going to say the best for last. I like Rashee Rice versus the Chargers. Chargers defense allowing most in points together. Most points per game to that position, 45.3. We talked about this, backstage before we went live. I like Michael Mayer, who I actually drafted late this year.
I remember.
Got off to an extremely slow start, so I had to part ways with him because I got Travis Kelce out there, and I ended up scooping up Jake Ferguson as well. But I like Michael Mayer going up against the Chicago Bears today. Check this out as far as his snap counts. In weeks 1 through 4, he had 116 snaps. He had 99 in the past 2 weeks. So they're figuring something out over there. Definitely getting him his snap count, his snap share as well. And this play right here, I think this one is for, next week, obviously for next week with the Tennessee Titans on a bye. They're talking about Ryan Tannehill being hurt. I like Malik Willis or Will Levis. They said that both of them are competing for the starting job if Ryan Tannehill is hurt this week. Tannehill's definitely dealing with an injury. And last but not least, man, I scooped this man up. I'm struggling right now. I had C.J. Stroud as a backup quarterback. I had Justin Fields as my starter. He's out for 2 weeks. And C.J. Stroud is on a bye this week. I scooped up Tyrod Taylor versus the Washington Commanders, man. I think Tyrod Taylor is going to be able to make this offense move. We saw it against Buffalo from 20 to 20. 0 for 5 in the red zone last week. That's unacceptable. I'd look for Tyrod Taylor to get the ball in the end zone at least once or twice. Could maybe be a decent play at the quarterback position this week.
I'm going to double down on Michael Mayer with you. Obviously, Notre Dame was on a bye week this week, so I had to find a way to talk about Notre Dame football. Michael Mayer, former Notre Dame Fighting Irish tight end. You talked about the snap counts. Last week, 67% of the routes ran. He was there for. So he's running 67%. That's its highest of the season so far. And obviously, backup quarterback, favorite position for backup quarterback, tight end, right? Usually more times than not.
I feel like
and
that might be shifting a little bit now, like a little bit, like what happened to the good security blanket tight end? That's not been a thing.
It has not. And then Chicago does allow the second most receptions to tight end in the National Football League. So great opportunity for Michael Mayer this week against the Chicago Bears. I'm also going to go A.J. Dillon. Aaron Jones banged up. He is supposed to play, but might be limited. So that's going to open a door for A.J. Dillon. We know about that Denver Broncos defense. It is the worst in the National Football League, allowing 172.3 yards per game on the ground. That is just absolutely insane. So that's where I'm going to go with A.J. Dillon. And then I'm going to stick with that game in the Green Bay Packers. I'm going to go with Christian Watson, who has been kind of a guy that we thought was going to be a bigger guy this year based upon the way that he ended last year. Started the season banged up, so he didn't play. And then now, obviously, they were on a bye week. And then, they had the tough loss before that. So he's kind of just fallen off the radar. I expect him to have a big week this week. Denver allows the most passing touchdowns on the season this year and second most passing yards. So, damn, the Denver Broncos defense is pretty much last in almost every statistical category.
Half of that came in that game against Miami Dolphins. And then I bet you another quarter of that came in that game against the Washington Commanders.
So it's
putting up points on them.
It's going to be interesting, but that's where I'm going to go with my sleeper section. Week 7. Let's go ahead and answer a couple more questions before we move on. Big shout out to Sergio in the building. Says, what's up, fam? Which one for a flex spot, Wandale or KJ Osborne? That is a flex spot question.
That's a good one.
It is.
Wandale has played pretty good. I mean, last week I think he had 8 receptions. He's not getting the yards, not getting in the end zone. I think I'll go Wandale today, man. The Giants are going to be fighting for everything today. I think you're going to get maximum effort. Not that you don't get high effort every week. I just think that, like, the intensity is going to be more. You're talking about a game that we left out there against a perennial Super Bowl contender last week. You're going up against the Washington Commanders here, who it would be nice to get a game closer to them, if you're thinking from the Giants coaching staff perspective. I think I'm going Wandale.
I'm going to have, if it's PPR, I'm going Wandale Robinson 100%. You already talked about it. Just the targets and the receptions is perfect. He's a perfect PPR player in the flex spot right now. So if it's not PPR, then I would think about KJ Osborne for the mere fact of the deep pass touchdown sort of situation. But if we're talking PPR, I'm going to go with Wandale Robinson. I think he's been a really sleeper pick for me lately in DraftKings every week because he's so cheap right now. So I like Wandale Robinson in that situation.
Gotta hope he just stays healthy, man. I think he can be a guy for this team. But, I talked about this on one of our shows recently. Like, to be a slot wide receiver and be dependable in the NFL, you got to look at the 2 best at that position, Cooper Kupp, CeeDee Lamb. Those guys are very dependable. They don't get hurt like that. They're tough guys going across the middle. Wandale's got to figure out a way with a smaller stature to be able to, keep himself on the field. It's 2 years in a row that he's been pretty banged up. He got back in the game the last time, but definitely worried about him moving forward. Kind of like the wide receiver version of a Tyrod Taylor. It's like you don't want to see them get hit. You just know if they get hit, it might be a problem getting back up.
Very, very valid point there. Shout out to our guy, James Funk, always holding us down on Facebook. Brian Robinson or Zach Moss? I'm going Brian Robinson.
You like Zach Moss, I have him on my squad, and it's just bothering me.
It's very bothersome.
Because he was playing really good, man, and then Taylor coming back, it's just like, are they just going to remove this guy from the offense? I hope they, give him some touches. I got him in the starting lineup because I just have to have him in the lineup. The Giants' rush defense ranked 31st right now. I think you got to go Brian Robinson, although I do think they put up a good fight. I was talking to the Beard about this off air, too. Like, even last week, the New York Giants looked like they played a decent game against the run, but they still allowed like 120-something yards on the ground. So it's interesting, man. The Giants got to get right. They've had some tough competition this year. Brian Robinson might go out here and put up a dud. We don't know. Bobby Okereke has been playing some really good football, and Micah McFadden as well. Both of them been playing well, so I'm looking for them to stop the run today. But going with these two, I think volume is important. You got to go Brian Robinson.
Big shout out to our guy, Kevin the PRF, says Jameson Williams, Romeo Dobbs, or Jahan Dotson. CTDB, catch the damn ball.
Catch the damn ball.
I'm going to go Dobbs.
Chuck the damn ball, maybe?
Yeah.
I'm going to go Dobbs as well. I'm going to go Dobbs, yeah.
And a big shout out to another day oneer and appreciating today's weather here in the DMV. Big shout out to No Mets, No Nets, No Jets with a $9.99 super chat. Says beautiful autumn Sunday. What up, AATB? Giants are getting a dub today.
I feel you, bro. I feel you.
Sub and tell a friend. Don't tell a friend necessarily that the Giants are getting a dub, but tell a friend about Awthentik and The Beard.
Do it. Tell them we're getting that dub today, man. Got to get that dub today. Shout out No Mets, No Nets, No Jets, man.
Appreciate you as always, my friend. Big shout out to James Funk once again checking in for Facebook. Christian Watson or Jacoby Myers? Watson. Watson.
Christian Watson has not been the same since no Aaron Rodgers over there. I mean, granted, he came in the year injured, but
You gonna go Jordan Love, Christian Watson versus the worst bats defense, or you gonna go Brian Hoyer and Jacoby Myers against the Chicago Bears?
Hey, Brian Hoyer know that system, bro. Know that system.
Very good
Chicago
point.
Bears defense, where they are weaker, is in the passing game. I don't want to give you, 50-50 advice here. That's the thing here. So I'll stick with the Beard's commentary here. We'll go with Christian Watson.
Watson. Big shout out to our guy.
What?
PJ Torres in the building. What's good,
dog?
PJ? Says Sutton over Judy. I think that's got to be the move moving forward right now.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
Sutton's actually been playing pretty well. I think he's caught a touchdown in like maybe 2 out of his last 3 games.
Some tough touchdowns, too. Like, he reminded me of T.O. on one of these touchdowns, the way he got cracked and held on to the ball. So, yeah, I'm going Cortland Sutton on this one.
And big shout out to our guy, Sebastian,
Hey,
for the
sorry,
$1.99 super chat. Aaron Jones, Brian Robinson, or Gus Edwards?
I'm definitely not going Gus Edwards. I contemplated putting Gus Edwards in the sit-him section this week, but I was like, people should already know that. I got Gus on the bench right now. I think you got to go. You got to go Brian Robinson. Aaron Jones dealing with a little injury here. I think you got to go Brian Robinson.
I'm going to have to double down there. Brian Robinson by default. If Aaron Jones was healthy, I would take Aaron Jones.
But keep your eye on it because Aaron Jones right now, he's not. They haven't made him active yet, right?
I think he's active. I don't know if he's active because they haven't released it yet, but he was questionable, limited throughout practice this week, expected to play with the potential of a limited role.
I think you got to keep your eyes on it because if he gets to start, it could be one of them ones. You know how Aaron Jones do. It could be one of them ones going against that Broncos defense. So keep Brian Robinson there for now, but keep your eyes on this Aaron Jones situation. I might just pull the trigger and go Aaron Jones. And that way you can root for your New York Giants as well and not have to worry about Brian Robinson getting yards and you getting a little happy about that.
Yeah, I like how you slid that in there. That was a good one. That was a good one. Okay. Shout out to everybody in the chat. We appreciate it. Keep those questions coming. Speaking of chucking the damn ball, let's go ahead and talk about the best quarterback plays in Week 7. Hit me. All right, Mr. Awthentik. Who are your signal callers in Week 7, my friend?
I like that. I'm going Josh Allen at New England. 2 pedestrian games for him, back to back. You had the London game, you had the game against the New York Giants. New England is probably the team that is in the most struggle mode right now of any team. Give me Josh Allen. I like Justin Herbert and Patrick Mahomes, both of them in this game. Last time that Patrick Mahomes played the Chargers, he had 3 touchdowns, 329 yards. I'll take that. And Justin Herbert, last time against the Kansas City Chiefs in that exact same game, the score was 30-27, so get ready for a boat race. He had 280 yards passing, and he had 2 touchdowns. So I like both those quarterbacks, and give me Josh Allen as well.
Literally, right next to Mahomes, I have written down shootout. So I like Patrick Mahomes as well. The Chargers do allow the most passing yards per game in the National Football League, giving up 289 yards per contest. So I like Mahomes in this situation. Also doubling down on Josh Allen, 24.2 fantasy points per game on average so far this year. And let's just be honest, the New England Patriots are not good. They're not a good football team.
Are we locked in on quarterbacks? We're locked in?
Well, I have one different than you.
Okay. Who's your 3 again?
Matthew Stafford is my different.
Stafford. I heard Josh Allen in there. I was like, wait a minute here.
Yeah, Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, Matthew Stafford is my different one. I thought about Herbert. I love me some Justin Herbert.
Sure.
But I just think Matthew Stafford with that running back situation might throw the ball 50 times today.
Yeah.
So I like Matthew Stafford with the running back situation. Pittsburgh Steelers have given up the 11th most touchdown passes this season, and they've only played 5 games. So less game than everybody else, and they've already given up the 11th most passing touchdowns.
Steelers are 3-2 right now, I believe. I think they're at the top of that division still.
Yeah, well, I feel like we've had this. I think Baltimore's 4-2.
Baltimore's 4-2 now.
Yeah,
so they entered last week at the top of the division. Okay.
Yeah, so
That's
it's interesting. Yeah, very, very interesting. So those are our top quarterback plays for the week. We do got a couple of quick questions before we move over to the next position. Big shout out to our guy Jetpack Jeff. Says, what's good, fellas?
What's going on, fam?
Terry McLaurin or Cortland Sutton? Banks has been locked down.
This is true. You got to hope that Brian Dable don't take him off the wide receiver 1 like he did last week. Dory Jackson was my neck and my back, and they put him back out there in the second half to go up against Stephon Diggs. So you got to just hope that they make him travel and stay on McLaurin. I think you got to go Terry McLaurin, though. I really do. Terry McLaurin has some of the highest statistics of any wide receiver going up against the NFC East since 2019. I don't got the exact number on me, but he had the most yards. I think you just got to go McLaurin. I like Sutton, but Russell Wilson in that offense, they've been kind of struggling over there. But the touchdowns and the stats for Russell Wilson are kind of like, they're kind of decent. And I think that Sean Payton's just not trying to take the training wheels off that offense. And I don't think it's yielding wins and a lot of productivity, but it's keeping Russell Wilson in that I'm not trash category.
Yeah, in this situation, I think I'm just going to have to go McLaurin. McLaurin's been playing really good as of lately. So just coming in across the wire.
Just saw that.
Browns running back Kareem Hunt listed as questionable due to a strained thigh is active today. So Kareem Hunt is active today, ladies and gentlemen. Just a heads up for those of you that were wondering. And then we got how about a little defense question from Sigma Surge. Giants,
Sigma.
Green Bay, or Buffalo Bills? Bills. Against that New England Patriots horrible offense.
Bills all day, all damn day. Buffalo Bills. What? I think I'm seeing that Deshaun Watson is in fact active. Yeah, he's active.
Good to hear for Amari Cooper. Amari Cooper owners and non-Amari Cooper haters. Big shout out to Ray W. Says Najee Harris or Curtis Samuel full PPR. Give me Curtis Samuel.
That one's kind of interesting. Yeah, Najee Harris, man. You kind of called that one. Kind of been falling off a little bit.
Yeah.
I don't want to give people the split advice. We'll go Curtis Samuel.
There we go. Slayton or Hyatt, Awthentik.
Damn.
Have they become almost in the one, sort of like the same sort of fantasy situation where they're just relying on a big play, especially with Wandell getting the receptions and Waller kind of getting the targets? Those two guys I feel like are more targeted than Slayton and Hyatt, right?
They are. And Hyatt is just starting to get, some snaps on the field actually the last week or two. Slayton did have the big play last week, though. He had like the 31-yard on the sideline from Tyrod Taylor. Hyatt, they've tried to mix him up a little bit underneath a little bit. I think he had 3 receptions in that game. I think I go Slayton just until further notice. If you see Hyatt get a big play this game, consider it next week. I think I go Darius Slayton this week.
Might be worth the gamble to go Hyatt. That's exactly what it is,
He hasn't had a big play, since the Cardinals game. But this could be one of those ones. It really could be. So, I mean, if you want to, roll the dice, go with Jalen Hyatt. I think you're in a tough spot, starting either one of them today. You're in a tough spot. But I think that they both have big play capability like the Beard was talking about. The chemistry is a thing, too, because if Daniel Jones was playing quarterback, I think this is an easier decision. You go Slayton all day.
Yeah.
But with Tyrod Taylor quarterback, there's that potential of maybe getting a big play to Hyatt. He's been trying to even force the ball to Hyatt. I think you just flip a coin, man, pick one of them. I think I like Slayton today, though.
Big shout out to Kevin, the PRF. This is something that I do almost every week. Defensive question. I've been running the Eagles. Do I do a one-day trade out today for a pickup like the Raiders? If you can keep the Eagles defense, then yeah, sure, absolutely. I've been playing the Raiders defense all over, up and down, everywhere today. I just think that and Max Crosby is just a machine. So yeah. If you
I don't trust the Raiders, though. I don't trust the Raiders. But you can't – I mean, Philadelphia's going up against the Miami Dolphins, so you got to find somebody. If that's the best defense you can find, go ahead and swap them out. Like the Beard said, don't cut the Eagles' defense. Just keep them on the bench for the week.
This is a very interesting question right here. JJ Stengel. Pickens or Flowers?
That's a good one. That's a good one. Yeah. I mean, Zay Flowers has been consistent. It hasn't been big numbers, but he's been about a good 10 fantasy points, about a game for me pretty much. I have more faith in the Ravens offense. I think I'm going Zay Flowers.
I think Zay Flowers is a must play at this point. His consistency is just something that
Pickens
you value. Yeah, but Pickens on the bench, I know. It's not easy, my friend. Not easy. Big shout out to everybody in the chat. We appreciate all the love, all the support, all the questions. We're going to go ahead and run into, like that, I did that. We're going to run into the best running back plays of Week 7. Hit me. All right. I love a running back who has a third in their name. I'm talking about Kenneth Walker the third. Okay, this just if you have a third, it sounds like a guy that should be a good running back. Kenneth Walker the third. The Seahawks are 8-point favorite. Arizona's bottom 5 in rush defense. They allowed 158 yards on the ground to Kyron Williams last week. Kenneth Walker's averaging 18.3 fantasy points per game. He's coming off of a season high in carries last week. Give me Kenneth Walker III as one of the top running backs this week.
They lost to Cincinnati Bengals last week in a close one, too. Urgency. Definitely going to be – they should have won that game.
Tough. That was a tough loss, even though I had Cincinnati winning that game.
Yeah, we know you're a fan.
Up next, I'm going to take myself a little bit of Pacheco. I like Pacheco this week. It's been tough. It's always tough for me to play and be excited about any Kansas City, skill position player outside of Travis Kelce because they just spread the ball out so many places, and you just never know who's going to be a guy. Shout out to the Chiefs. They got back Mecole Hardman this week.
He will be
active.
In the sleeper section, but every time I went to go try to pick him up in the league, he was gone already. Like, man, this league we're in, bro, it's ridiculous. There was two players like that this week where I was like, ooh, got some news, went to the phone. I'm like, I'm about to scoop. Nope, already gone. So I do think Hardman is a sleeper if he can get on the field because the Chiefs don't really got no wide receivers out there for real.
I like this matchup for Pacheco. Los Angeles Chargers, they are bottom 5 in defense and rush defense, and also Pacheco's averaging 20 opportunities, so like total touches over the last 3 games. So we're starting to see a little bit of pickup and play from him. I like the matchup. I like the opportunities. Those two things weigh well for me. I think he has a big game this week. And I'm going to round it out with a guy that Awthentik and I talked about a little earlier before we went live, Josh Jacobs. This is a little bit of a tough one, but, backup quarterback. I love a strong running back when you have a backup quarterback. So I really like the opportunity here.
That's a good point. We talked about this in the, before the show and whatnot, and, like, I really didn't have a good point of why we were going to start this guy, to be honest. But that was a really good point right there.
Chicago's run defense is bottom 10, but it's not bad.
I'm seeing top 10.
Top 10?
I'm seeing top 10. I can double check that for you, but when I checked before we went on air, yeah, Chicago's allowing 89.5 rushing yards per game.
Maybe. I wonder if it's a fantasy point bottom 10 sort of situation.
Yeah, that's why when we were first talking about it, it's like there's really no other running back to pick top 3 right now. And I was like, yeah, I'm going to pick Josh Jacobs too, but I was kind of like,
okay, I got another one for you. He is the number 1 used running back in the National Football League right now.
All right, let's do a little battle here. He don't got a 100-yard game all year.
What about 100 total yards?
I don't know about 100 total yards. He's a running back. I'm talking about rushing yards here. All right? He's got 2 touchdowns all year. Look, I'm gonna take one from you here because I got Josh Jacobs on my top 3 as well. Let's just call it a gut feeling.
I like that.
Let's just call it a gut feeling.
Did you eat breakfast this morning?
I had some water for breakfast.
So maybe you're just hungry.
It's not good. It's not. Hey, listen, we are not financial advisors. Do not spend your money on this.
Watch him go out for like 200 though. He's
due for a big game, man. I like your point about the backup quarterback. Going against. I like that. That's good. Let's just go with gut feeling backup quarterback.
Who else you have in your top 3 today?
I got DeAndre Swift going up against the Miami Dolphins. DeAndre Swift ranks 5th in the NFL right now, 452 rushing yards on the season. He's trying to get his 3rd in a row at home with a rushing touchdown. That should be enough to just put him in your lineup. Hopefully he can find his way to one of those big games he had earlier this year. And I'm going Giants theme today. I had Tyrod Taylor in the sleeper section. I didn't quite have any wide receivers there, no, real quarterbacks in the top 3 section. But I'm going Saquon Barkley, man. I think Saquon's due for a big game. And this is the reason why. He came in last week against the Buffalo Bills on a hobbled kind of an ankle. You could tell he wasn't 100%, not quite putting full faith in that ankle, running in the first half. Had the 2 big runs in the second half when the game was on the line. Giants should have came away with the victory. I think he's going to be running with some urgency. He's going to be running tough, kind of like that throwback game where he had the 14 carries for 175 yards, almost all in the first half. So I'm looking for Saquon to have a big game today and the Giants to come away with a W. And Washington's allowing 129 rushing yards per game, which is not like terrible or nothing like that, but you're going up against a guy who I think is a top 5 running back in the league when healthy. So give me Saquon, give me DeAndre Swift, give me Josh Jacobs with the gut feeling.
Josh Jacobs is our guy this week. Josh Jacobs for president. Shout out to all the New York Giants fans who have Terry McLaurin on their fantasy team and are asking us questions about it. Knicks Nation says DK Metcalf or Scary Terry because this is the whole thing. The banks. I know banks are closed on Sunday. I love that saying.
Yeah.
But I need confirmation from the GOATs. I think you go Scary Terry. It's just DK's banged up,
man,
right?
Look, we're rooting for the New York Giants today. Knicks Nation. All right, that's what we're doing. I'm going with my man DK Metcalf one time, okay? Forget Terry McLaurin. If it's going against the Giants, we're not for that today. We're going for the W.
Okay, here we go. Mark Primetime 21. Saquon. I thought this was a joke at first. I thought it was a joke at first. I was like, come on. The Cowboys have on a bye week. They got nothing better to do but to joke. But I think he's talking about Jonathan Taylor and Saquon Barkley.
For sure.
This is tough for me. I could listen. You know, I'm a RTDB guy. I love both of these guys.
Browns defense. Consider Browns defense.
Browns defense. Okay, yeah. All right, we'll go Saquon Barkley.
You like that, right? You
I
like
do
that?
because I
just
want to save
my way into getting you to say Saquon's gonna have a big game.
I wanna save my Colts banter for our picks here in a second. I'll go Saquon. I think Saquon has a good enough day today to outperform Jonathan
day,
Taylor.
Huh? Okay.
Yeah, you know, I didn't want to have to say it
day.
as a big game, you know.
I'll take that. A good enough day.
Shout out to our guy Ben Bayou down on the Bayou.
What's going on, Ben?
Says might have missed it. Najee Harris or Alexander Madison.
Ooh.
Forfeit.
Dang, that's crazy. I want to check Alexander's game.
I have some tough running back rooms right now. I'm not gonna lie, but that's tough. Najee Harrison or Alexander Madison.
18 carries for 44 yards last week. 2.4 yards per carry for Madison against the Bears. Bears are a better rushing defense. They're a later game today. Who they going up against? The Vikings are going up against the Niners. Damn.
That's Monday night.
Yeah, I'm going Najee Harris. Yeah.
Najee, but I'd take a look at that waiver wire if I were you, Ben B.
Let me tell you what's up, too, with the 49ers. It's 32 or 33 straight games I think they had. Did that streak come to an end last week? 70-yard rusher.
It did. It
came to an end with Jerome Ford. Jerome Ford ended that. So I think they're going to be a little angry. You know, I don't like Madison going up against the 49ers. Give me Najee Harris.
Najee Harris. And then, listen, I wanted to know what's going on, New York Giants fans, Awthentik and The Beard fans, because this is getting a little crazy here, ladies and gentlemen. Another
more scary Terry
McLaurin. Valentino says Terry or Wan'Dale at the flex. I feel like Wan'Dale has a big game, and each and every one of you guys are trying to convince yourselves not to play Terry McLaurin.
Yeah, you got to root for your squad, man.
I understand it. I'm gonna go Terry McLaurin.
I know you're gonna go. You're not going to double down and go, hey, yeah, Saquon's gonna have a good enough day, and Wan'Dale, he's not doing that. I'm going all New York Giants today. I told y'all it's all money in today. If it fails, it fails. You know, from here on out. If we don't get no good games from these players today, from here on out, you can put them on the bench. You can do your scary Terry thing next week. This week, I'm going all New York Giants, man. It's Wan'Dale all day.
Big shout out to New York Knicks Nation. Hollywood Brown, Jacoby Myers, Christian Watson, or Amari Cooper. You can only pick one and one only.
You tell them who we're picking.
Watson.
What the hell?
You thought I was going to say Amari Cooper.
No,
give me Christian Watson.
Christian Watson over Amari Cooper, boy, you out your mind.
Matchup.
Let me take a look. Let me just take a look before I.
The Denver Broncos are the worst. They're the worst.
3 for 91 last week is pretty good. I mean, when you're averaging 30 yards per reception, that's pretty damn good.
That's Watson.
Yeah, can't do it, though. I'm going to Amari Cooper. I'm going to Amari Cooper all day, man. Yeah, I'm not doing it. Maybe Watson has a big game, you know, but I'm going Cooper.
Half of Adam Schefter's inactive players.
And wait, before we go to Adam Schefter real quick. The Beard told y'all, okay? He said anytime he says bench Amari Cooper or whatever the hell, he's probably wrong. Just
I did give you guys that warning early on, just so everybody knows.
We cannot be, hypocrites over here on Awthentik and The Beard. You got it. Maybe he's just telling you that so you know. It's like you start Amari, okay?
Maybe not. I did open the show with saying that.
Maybe not.
Big shout out to Lax044, the 1999 says super chat. Deonta Foreman or Jeff Wilson Jr.? Jeff Wilson Jr. He plays on the better team.
Damn. Yeah. All right. Yeah. Can't be giving too much split advice. I'm going Jeff Wilson Jr. Okay.
And last question before we go into the wide receiver group is going to be Kevin the PRF, Terry McLaurin or the Giants field.
I'm going to go Terry McLaurin here, okay?
Terry McLaurin, thank you.
I don't blame it on the field too much here, okay? Giants field has been taking some people out, but we're not going to be wishing for no injuries.
No,
definitely not.
We're not. All right, week 7, top 3 wide receivers. Hit me with your best shot.
Hit me is good, like, Randy Moss hand. I like that.
Two little screen windows that y'all can't see. The only Awthentik guy can see. We look like we're both running routes over here at the bottom of the screen. All right, I'm gonna go with Cooper Kupp. I feel like you just have to. I mean, he's the guy. He is. It's like he can't. players rush back from injury sometimes, right?
Yeah.
I feel like Cooper Kupp probably could have played, but he's like, nah, let me just go on the IR. Let me come back. I'm going to be good. First 2 games back, 15 catches, 266 yards, 1 touchdown. I mean, like, there's wide receivers on our team and your team that don't even have those stats right now.
I wonder, what did he do last week? Because I remember he had a big game the first week.
I think he had like 10 for 100. I think that's where it was at. I'm pretty sure where he's at. He's going up against that Pittsburgh.
7 for 148.
Yeah.
8 for 118, 7 for 148. I mean, that's ridiculous, man.
Yeah.
Coming off an injury.
That's why I said, like, that IR was like, he was like, I need the 4 weeks, guys. He came back and he showed why. He's going up against that Pittsburgh defense. We already talked about they've given up the 11th most touchdowns in the NFL, and they've played one less game than everybody else that's ahead of them. So let's just let's count that for what it is. Also, I'm going to go Keenan Allen. Keenan Allen. We talked about Keenan Allen early on. That guy is a guy. He's a guy. He's just absolutely killing it this year. Okay, he's got 10+ targets a game on average.
That was like almost in sync.
Yeah.
That's kind of crazy.
We're looking at a shootout between the Chargers and the Chiefs. Keenan Allen is averaging 26.1 fantasy points per game. It's not talked about enough. He is literally up there, though, I think, as one of the top wide receivers so far this season. Love what Keenan Allen's doing. I'm going to round it out with Stephon Diggs. I think Diggs is a lock for 100 yards and a touchdown this week at least.
Okay.
He's going up against the New England Patriots, and God, they're a tough team to watch. There's bad teams, right? But like, I can watch some of these bad teams. I can watch Carolina.
What about the Saints on that Thursday night game?
Look, Derek Carr is not a happy camper right now.
That was and I do think that they were without their left tackle and their right tackle. I just feel like when teams are without linemen, there's not as big of an issue as like when the Giants are without linemen. Like when the Giants are without linemen, the whole world knows.
Bruh.
Kirk Cousins goes out there without his center and his left tackle, and nobody knows till mid-game.
Yeah. Listen, I'm not going to talk about the Giants, but, that's just what the Giants fans do,
Thanks, man.
That's what they do. But that's I'm going to round that out. Diggs is averaging 25.1 fantasy points per game. 5 of 6 of his games this year, he's got over 100 yards. So I think he's a lock. Who you got?
Diggs a beast, man. I did want to say Puka might be a person you might want to consider.
I love
sitting.
Puka's
because Cooper Kupp being back, he only had 26 yards last week.
How many catches he have though?
I think he had 4.
Yeah, so he's gonna be a PPR sort of guy, Puka, moving forward. They had a bad week though last week.
They did. I just you got to keep your eyes on that because Cooper Kupp getting all that volume is kind of
very
ridiculous,
true,
man. Over 100-yard. Games, both his games back is kind of wild. But as far as my wide receivers, I got Stephon Diggs as well. What you would say Stephon Diggs had a pretty quiet game last week, right?
No, he went over 100 yards though.
Yeah, I know, but when you look at it with your eyes,
quiet game.
Like,
listen,
they
that
were
game
talking about Deonte Banks and all this.
The eyes are very deceiving in that game, apparently, because of the rushing yards too. Like it was very
10-400 is good. That's solid. So if you can get 100 yards in a quiet game like that, where the Giants hold your offense pretty much in check throughout 3 quarters. That was the first time the Bills have been held in check and been shut out in 3 quarters since 2018, right? And Stephon Diggs still managed to put up 10-400. So I definitely got Stephon Diggs. He's going to be in my number 3 spot. I'm gonna rank him for you here, okay? Tyreek Hill going to be in my number 2 spot here. He had 6 catches for 163 yards and a touchdown last week. He's number 1 in the NFL. He had 11 catches for 186 yards and 3 touchdowns the last time they played the Philadelphia Eagles. I just think that this matchup between him and A.J. Brown is going to be the most exciting football we've seen from the wide receiver standpoint all year long. This is 1 versus 2 this week. And I got A.J. Brown, I think, who's going to be in the number 1 spot. I don't think that that's necessarily going to get the Philadelphia Eagles a win in this game. But A.J. Brown, he's got 14 games with 125 or more receiving yards. It's the 4th most in the NFL since 2019. I think he's going to have a chip on his shoulder. Tyreek Hill's kind of playing football these days with a big smile on his face. And A.J. Brown is playing football these days with a big mean mug on his face. He's like, quarterback, you better get me the damn ball. I think there's going to be urgency from him to kind of show out Tyreek Hill in this game. I think he'll be the number 1 wide receiver exiting week 7.
Great breakdown there. Great breakdown there. I love it. And big shout out to everybody in chat. Everybody is breaking down and then showing love for the authentic gear of the week, the Nipsey shirt. Everybody.
Oh yeah, shout out to homie Keenan. He's a a supporter and a watcher of the show. He also hooked us up with the graphics we used last season with the 2 animated characters, me and the Beard. He just be sending me dope stuff every now and again. He sent me a black one, T-shirt vibe, and then he sent me this long sleeve one too as well, man. So shout out Keenan, man. Good dude.
Big shout out to Renee in the chat with the super chat. It's your weekly edition of the Renee Lay. Okay, this is the exclusive Renee Parlay. $5 super chat says, low risk, high reward bets are my thing, but don't expect to hit every Sunday. I think that's the biggest thing that people need to know, because people follow people, they tail people's bets, and they're like, you didn't hit this week. I'm like, well, I mean, damn, if the dude hit every week, it would be a problem, right? But I really like this bet, okay? So he's got Sam Howell, Jared Goff, Jalen Hurts, and Jordan Love to all throw 2 touchdowns or more.
Goff, Hurts, Howell as well.
And Jordan Love.
I don't think we're going to get there, Renee. Not today. Not today. My New York Giants are going to step up and play a little bit better football today.
It's paying out plus 20.99 on FanDuel, really, so there's a huge come up on that. But I like
bets today?
What's that?
Are you going to go make some bets today?
No, no bets today. I placed my bets on the Chantilly Sports Card Show this weekend. So,
let me know. Let me know when you make some more bets. I'm ready.
Big shout out to Renee. We appreciate you. Shout out to everybody in the chat.
I like this one right here too from PJ. I think
Devonta's due though.
Yeah, and you know how they do, man. Wide receiver 1A, 1B. Like any given Sunday, one of those guys can go crazy, or both of them can. So, yeah, I mean, I think Devonta is due for a big game. That's true. He hasn't had one of those real standout games this year.
I think we just kind of have to hope that, like we talked about on Thursday, we cannot have a dud in this game. We need that 34-31, 31-24 sort of game. Cannot have a 19-16 game.
You know, I just think that Brown is going to come out, right? Like, I don't know if you ever saw that skit where they talked about, like, forcing the crowd, like a rapper forcing the crowd to put your hands up on, like, some real gangster type shit. Like, that's how A.J. Brown be looking at Jalen Hurts. Like, yo, dog, if you don't throw me this damn ball, I'm about to come over there and straight kill you, bro. Like, I just think A.J. Brown, he's trying to get to that. He definitely trying to get to it. So the target volume should be up there. But that I'm going to keep my eyes on that game. Is that the Eagles-Miami game, is that 4 o'clock?
Sunday night.
Shout out to the NFL. Man, shout out to the NFL on that one right there. That's a Sunday night game right there.
Thank God it's not Chicago and Vegas.
Yeah, that'd have been tough. That'd have been tough.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is that time you have all been waiting for. It is rapid fire. We are going to pick each and every single football game over, under, and we're going to get you guys the spread picks as well. After week 8, I'm going to take the time to tally up Thursday night picks and parlay picks. And I'm going to give you guys a little scoreboard, total board. I think you got
me by a couple games. I've been a little bit too risky. None of my upset.
I don't know. You've
really
had some good weeks where you've gone against the grain, and you've had
early in the year. I did. Yeah. Week 2, week 3, and then kind of.
And then you tried to wring that rag a little bit into week 4, 5, and 6. I got a couple of those.
And it's dry.
I got a couple of those this week. Right before we get into those picks, so big shout out to Kevin, the PR rep, for the $5 super chat. Says, at first I thought you were wearing yourself.
That's funny.
Then I saw your Nipsey's doppelganger. Now I need you to grow in Tim's beard to complete the homage.
I know, right? I could never grow a beard like the Beard or a beard like Nipsey. Ain't no way. But you ain't the first person to say that. And I'm moving out of this studio now, so it's not in here now. But I have a big Nipsey Hussle portrait in my studio, like a real large one. And every time my clients come in, I've had multiple people say that, like, "Yo, you look just like Nipsey." And I'll be like, "Yeah."
You get a lot, man. Little Nipsey
stash and
Nipsey Hussle, a little Jordan Love action,
Jordan Love, I totally get it. I'm like, oh yeah, that's if I was playing quarterback in the league right now, I'd be Jordan Love wearing number 4, 1,000%.
Big shout out to Kevin, the PRF. We appreciate the love, appreciate the support. Facts. All right, let's do it. We're gonna get into it, and then we're gonna get to you, Lexo. Actually, you know what? Let's just answer it. Lexo, real fast. Laporta, Waller, Pitts. Give me Sam.
Laporta. Yeah,
Sam Laporta.
Sure.
Big shout out to Lexo. You have all 3. You are a tight end hoarder.
Hey, man, I want to see what's going on with the flex. You know what I'm saying? I want to play baller.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, here we go. It's time for rapid fire. We're going to pick each and every single game. Up first, the Atlanta Falcons are 3-3. They are headed down to face the Tampa Bay Baconeers. There we go. You got it. I always want to know if I want to put the Baker in the Bay or the Baker in the Nears. So we're going to go
Tampa Baker Buccaneers. I like that.
Tampa Baker
That's
Buccaneers.
That's
okay,
good.
there we go. They're 2.5-point favorites. The over/under, and there are some disgustingly low-scoring predicted games here this week. Just want to let everybody know. We're at an over/under of 37 points. Kickoff is at 1:00 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Authentic, tell me what you got.
God, the Falcons are tough, man. They're tough to pick sitting at 3-3. You would think they're like a worse team, kind of in that Chicago, New York Giants type of, ballpark and whatnot. Took a tough L to the Commanders last week. I like the Falcons defense this year. Kind of struggling to run the ball the way I think they should be running the ball, though. You want to see bigger games out of Bijan Robinson. I got to take the Bucs in this one, man. Give me the Bucs. 37. Give me the under. I think the Bucs cover 2.5.
I'm going to take Tampa Bay by 2.5. I don't know what I'm going to be able to do, though, with that over-under. It's in Tampa. Give me the over. I'm going to take the over. We're just going to get over on that one.
Okay.
And obviously, the best game of the week. We've been talking about it all morning long.
What a matchup.
It is the Las Vegas Raiders. They are 3-3. They're
How
headed
are they
to
3-3?
I don't know, dude.
How are the Raiders 3-3, dog?
If I had to double check that,
Dog. I got you. I got you. That don't make no damn sense.
The Raiders are 3-3. They're 2.5-point favorites. They're headed to Chicago.
3-3.
They are 3-3.
They're 2 games back. That is nah, bruh. Can the Giants do something like the Raiders? The Raiders and the Commanders, yo. All right, let me ask you before we move on with this game.
Okay.
Are those 2 3-3 teams a little bit fugazi?
Who? The Raiders and the Commanders?
Raiders and the Commanders, yeah. Are they pretenders or are they contenders, as a lot of these NFL people would say?
Right now, Commanders are more of a contender than the Raiders are.
I don't like you.
They are.
I always knew I never liked you.
You can't tell me the Raiders are more of a contender than the Commanders.
I didn't say more of. I just said, are these 2 teams contenders or pretenders? So Raiders are a pretender for sure, though, for you.
Yeah.
But the Commanders, no. We lost to the Bears, man.
We did lose to the Bears.
Take the push, man.
No pushes on the parlay, okay?
No push on the parlay. This ain't a giant overreaction.
I am going to take the Raiders to win this game, though. They're going to go to 4-3. I'll take the Raiders minus 2.5. I'm going to take the under 38. This might be like a 12-9 game.
I need this to be higher scoring than that. I need DJ Moore to get me a touchdown, at least. I'm with you, though. I'm taking the Raiders. They'll cover the 2.5. Hopefully this one could be like 24-20 or something like that. Maybe my guy DJ Moore gets in the end zone.
I mean, there's a lot of these sort of games this week. This game where it's like a 3-3 versus a 1-5, and then you got a lot of these like this next game. The Cleveland Browns, they're 3-2. They're headed to Pat McAfee land to face the Colts, who are 3-3. Over under in this game, 40.5. Shout out to the graphics department. Kickoff is at 1:00 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm going upset here. Give me the Indianapolis Colts. Gardner Minshew bounce back game. I like the Colts to cover the 3.5. Colts to outright win, and give me the under 40.5.
Yeah, I like the under in this one as well, but I'm definitely not taking the Colts. Give me the Browns. Browns might have a top 3 defense right now. That defense
I can agree with that.
Crazy right now. I love what I'm seeing from that defense. You got Deshaun Watson back in the lineup. Hopefully that's a good thing. He was playing some decent football before he got injured, so we'll see how that goes. I'm going to take the Browns, and I'll take the under.
The Browns might have shot themselves in the foot for 10 years with that Deshaun Watson contract.
I don't think so. I really don't think so. They have time. They don't need to be in a rush with it, like Russell Wilson, because age is playing a factor with the Denver Broncos. I don't think age plays a factor with what the Browns did. It's a big contract. It's guaranteed. You got to die on it. That's just what it is. You got to die on that contract.
How much older do you think Russell Wilson is than Deshaun Watson?
Maybe like 3-4 years.
I don't know. They might be the same age.
Really?
Maybe 2 years difference.
Deshaun Watson is 28.
Russell Wilson's what, 30?
He's got to be 33 or something.
maybe I'm. I think
Russell's 34 and Deshaun's 28. So it's big gap.
Big difference. Big difference. I dropped the ball on that one. You know who's not going to drop the ball? The 3-3 Washington Commanders are headed up to New Jersey to face the New York.
Look how your Commanders just ruined the whole graphics department with that stupid long name. Like, can we like?
We're not going to talk about the name, okay?
I'm about to just start putting Mandy's up there.
Don't do such a thing. The Washington Commanders are 3-3. They're 3-point favorites. They're headed to face the Giants, who are 1-5. Over-under is disgusting, 37.5. Kickoff is at 1:00 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Authentic, tell me what you got.
I got all my money in, pushed all the chips to the center of the table. New York Giants are getting this win, man. Got to. Played good against the Buffalo Bills last week. Listen, I'm not one of these people that like to do this. You know, they played them. We played them. We played them better. But listen, okay, we played the Buffalo Bills last week. Y'all played the Buffalo Bills a couple of weeks ago. They blew y'all out. It was 33-3. We played them. It was 14-9. I think our defense shows up in this game. I think Sam Howell's going to have some problems turning the ball over at least once in this game. New York Giants come away with the victory. Tyrod Taylor gets the ball in the end zone 2 times.
Man, this is tough because, you know, there is a part of me right now that is like just dreading the situation of the Buffalo.
We're an hour away.
Yeah, we can get destroyed, no question about it, just out of the blue. Like, I don't want to see it.
Are the Giants due for like a blowout, like a staple game? Is that what you're saying?
If there was a team you were going to do it against, it would be the Washington Commanders.
You
and I both know
like
that. But I'm going to take the Washington Commanders to win by a final score of 24-13, just getting under that 37.5.
Oh, 24-13. I didn't talk about the over-under. Let me see. 37. Giants going to put up 23 today. I'm going to take the under.
You got two, we have the flip-flop scores, right? I'm 23, 24-13 Commanders, and you're 24-13.
I'm 23, maybe. Y'all going to put up some points. 23-20.
Good game there. Classic. All right, up next.
That would go against my over-under thing. So let's go 23-13.
There we go. That would put you right under there.
Yeah.
Up next is going to be the Detroit Lions.
This might
low-key top 5 team in the NFL. It's up for debate.
High key, especially when you go back to last season, man. They finished last year strong.
They're going to Baltimore, face the Ravens, who are 4-2. Ravens are 3-point favorites. Over-under is 43, which I thought was a little low for these two teams. Kickoff is at 1:00 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Give me the Lions. Give me the Lions to win outright, cover the 3 points. I'm going to take the over 43.
Lions are a good team, man. And you know, I've been rooting for the Ravens a little bit, man. I've been wanting to see Lamar Jackson and Odell Beckham succeed. They have not clicked up really well this year. I got to go to Lions. I think the Lions are the team right now in the NFC outside the Philadelphia Eagles that give the 49ers a big run for their money.
More so than the Dallas Cowboys. You take the Detroit Lions are a better team than the Dallas Cowboys right now, correct?
They are.
Yeah.
They are.
I agree.
Right? I think that Trayvon Diggs injury really set the Cowboys back, but I got to go Lions. I'm going to take the over 43. And, yeah, Lions outright, man. It's tough. Baltimore to fall to 4-3 right now. They lost that game to the Colts, which was just completely fluke. Mm-hmm. That's going to be tough for them. The Ravens are my Super Bowl pick this year to represent the AFC. At the beginning of the year, they're who I picked, and they're definitely like treading in some deep water right now. They got to start winning some of these closer games.
Yeah, they need that offense to get all on the same page, clicking, new offensive coordinator, everything like that. And I think it's just taking them a little bit longer than I think most of us had expected it to take.
And shout out Todd Monken, man, because he's got Lamar Jackson playing from the pocket.
Yeah.
And playing well, man.
Like,
I don't know what the rushing yards are. Completion percentage high. Touchdowns aren't that high, but his total touchdowns are. And turnovers. Fumbles have been an issue. Fumbles have been an issue for him, for sure.
Big shout out to the Buffalo Bills because they're 4-2. They're 7.5-point favorites, and they get to go play the New England bum Patriots.
Ooh, that was tough. I know Patriots fans looking at you like, dang, he called us bum.
Listen, I'm throwing extra shade to Patriots for all of the people who are not making educated statements and talking about Bill Belichick coming to Washington to be the next coach.
I've been hearing Bill
year.
Belichick to New York.
Yeah. People are crazy. Just let
I
the
mean,
man
listen,
retire.
but let me ask you this: would that be a problem for you? Would you be upset?
I
at that?
would. I have absolutely nothing to do with Bill Belichick as a head coach right now.
Oh, that's wild, bro. You got to put some respect on that man's name.
This
That's wild.
5-10 years ago. Hell yeah, give him to me.
I mean, listen, that was when he really had a quarterback over there. I don't think you can look at Bill Belichick as you treating that man like Josh McDaniels right now.
No, Josh McDaniels doesn't deserve to be a coach on any level.
Bro, have you seen Ron Rivera in these press conferences? I don't want to make this show go too long, but have you seen Ron Rivera? Bro, like Ron Rivera is starting to look like, listen, we don't talk politics on this show, but look, Ron Rivera is starting to look like a famous politician right now. Just keeping it real with you, bro. Ron Rivera's like, dude told him last week, I know you saw this clip. He said, so like something about how many games Chase Young has played in. And Ron Rivera goes, how come not 6 games? And the reporter was like, well, Chase Young has only played 5 games. He was like, oh. And then kept it pushing. Bro, he's starting to lose his mind up there on the podium a little bit. I think you might want to start sending Eric Bieniemy out there. Eric Bieniemy is a mastermind, and if you paired him with a defensive mastermind like Bill Belichick, do you remember what that defense looked like this year?
Oh, I'd take Bill Belichick on the roster as a defensive coordinator. Sure,
if you want to head coach, man, you bring him as the head coach, and you allow Bieniemy to do what he's doing on the offensive side of the ball.
Bieniemy's the head coach next year anyway, so I'm gonna take the Buffalo Bills.
I want nothing to do with Bill Belichick. That man has everything to do with Super Bowls. I'm not gonna let that one go. October 22nd. On October 22nd, 2023, the Beard said he wants nothing to do with Bill Belichick. God, y'all ain't been to a Super Bowl in 300 years.
Okay. Buffalo Bills minus a 7.5. I'm gonna take the under 40. I don't think the Patriots scored a touchdown today.
Damn. I think the Patriots play them pretty close. They got. You can't keep playing bad football week in and week out like the Patriots have been playing. I still got to take the Bills 40.5. Yeah, give me the over. Something like 24-14 or something like that. Maybe
that's 38.
Yeah, let's go a little over. So let's go 24-18.
You're giving the Patriots are going to score 18 points?
Dog, you got to score some points, man. You can't keep putting up 3 in a whole football game.
Okay, here we go.
Yes, I would, Kevin, the PRF. I would. But if I had a coaching issue, I think Brian Dable's the guy for the job right now. But if let's say we lost Mike Kafka and Brian Dable went to OC and you wanted to bring in Bill Belichick, sign me up, man. I'm not saying no to Bill Belichick. I'm not doing that. What the hell do I look like? I'm not. I don't want Brian Dable out of here, though. Don't go spinning that on Twitter or nothing like that, man. I just heard Awthentik say he's trying to bring in Bill Belichick next year.
It's already on Twitter already.
Yeah, but man, look, I am upset with Brian Dable, man. Like, I don't like how the mismanagement of time was handled last week. I don't like the outburst and all that with the backup quarterback. I'm starting to be like, bro, where's the mastermind we saw last year? And you can go back to last podcast when I made the comparison to how Eric Bieniemy handled things with Washington on the 1-yard line. I thought that was amazing.
It's going to be an interesting next couple of hours. That's for damn sure. Coming up in the 4 o'clock hour, it's the Arizona Cardinals. They are also 1-5, playing against another team that is 3-2.
That's a good 1-5 right there.
This is Seattle Seahawks.
Got their one win against the Cowboys. I know the Cowboys are sitting home sick right now.
Yeah. The Seahawks are 8-point favorites. Over-under is 44.5. Kickoff is at 4:05. Who you got, Awthentik?
Listen, 44.5, I'm going to take the over in this game, and I think the Cardinals are going to cover. I got the Seahawks winning this game, but give me the Cardinals to cover.
I am right in 100% agreement with you. Give me the Seattle Seahawks to win. I think they win by 7. Arizona covers that 8, and we do get over the 44.5. This is a very interesting game here. Coming up next, 4:05, the Pittsburgh Steelers. They're 3-2. They're headed to LA to face the Rams, who are 3-3. Rams are 3-point favorites. Over/under in this game is 43.5. That's a little weird to me, given Pittsburgh's Steelers' offensive struggles so far this year. I'm gonna take the Rams. I'll take the Rams minus the 3. I'm gonna take the under 43.5 though.
I'm going Rams minus 3 as well. This is going to be a complete blowout. Give me the over 43.5. Pittsburgh scores 1 touchdown. Rams blow them out.
The game I think everybody's probably going to be watching in the afternoon window is going to be the Los Angeles Chargers, who are 2-3. They're headed to Kansas City to face the Taylor Swifts, who are 5-1. They are 5.5-point favorites. The over/under is 47.5. Kickoff is at 4:25 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Give me the Los Angeles Chargers with the upset victory, and I'm going to take the over 47.5.
You know how you can like ban words on Twitter, so like those words don't show up.
You banned Taylor Swift?
I'm going to do that on this podcast. We're gonna stay away from that Swifty stuff.
What are we talking about, DeAndre?
Swifty stuff.
Okay, I didn't say Swifty.
Okay.
I won't say Swifty.
I'm just, you know where I'm going with that. And yeah, she's gonna, she's got a movie coming out. I knew that this was a press promo run for sure. I don't know what's going on with her and Travis Kelce. Y'all do your thing, okay? But that movie is gonna make it so that Killers of the Flower Moon is not number one. That's just a bad thing. It's just a bad thing, all in all. Okay, don't show Taylor Swift on Red Zone anymore either. Okay. I like your upset pick here, man. I like the upset pick with the Chargers coming off that tough loss versus the Cowboys last week, but I can't do it. I got to go Chiefs, man. I'll take the over 47.5, but I got to go Chiefs. I think the Chiefs cover the 5.5 as well. I think that the Cowboys, although that was a big win for the Cowboys going up against the Chargers, it kind of lets you know that the Chargers really not ready to play the top competition in the NFL right now. Started off the year 0-2, and then you're struggling against the Cowboys, who really don't look that great. The Cowboys look okay. They look like a good football team right now. Not quite striding yet. So, yeah, give me the Chiefs in this one. Give me the over. They cover the 5.5.
Up next, it's I got a lot laying in the Green Bay game. Green Bay Packers 2-3. They're 1-point favorites. They're headed to Mile High, face the Broncos, another 1-5 team. Damn, how many 1-5 teams are there in the league? Over under is 45. Kickoff is at 4:25 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Give me the Green Bay Packers. -1 is a disgrace. It should be like 6 points. Give me the Green Bay Packers -1. I'm going to take the over 45. I think Denver puts up some points in this game, though.
This one is tough for me. The Broncos, man, like their offense has been moving the ball a little bit. Jordan Love has kind of regressed a little bit the past couple of weeks, right? It's hard for me to pick I think the one is good. This is kind of like a pick 'em type game. I just did want to look at some of the Broncos scores. You know, lost to the Jets 31-21. Lost to the Chiefs 19-8. That was on a Thursday night just last week. Give me the Broncos, man. I'm going to take the Broncos. I think they get their second win of the year.
Going to take the Broncos. Interesting
45.
choice. Over or under?
Let me go under. They ain't been scoring that many points. I'll go under.
And the game of the week, outside of the game of the week of the Commanders and the Giants, is going to be the Miami Dolphins. They're headed to the city of brotherly love to face the Philadelphia Phillies, who are 5-1. Also,
Philadelphia Phillies.
I know.
I like that. I like that.
They're trying to get to the World Series. They're one win a game away for the World Series. So it's going to be a rocking place in Philadelphia. The Eagles are 3-point favorites. Over/under is 52. Kickoff is at 8:20 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. This is obviously the toughest game of the week to pick. I'm going to go with the Philadelphia Eagles. I will not take the Eagles -3. I think the Eagles win this game by 3 or less points. I will take the over 52, though. Just give me Eagles money line. And I guess if you wanted to, take the Dolphins to cover the 3 points.
This
is
tough. Yeah, it's tough. I'm gonna go with the Miami Dolphins. I'm gonna wait till you get that back right. I'm going Miami Dolphins. Coach Mike McDaniel is just out here doing God's work.
Yeah,
for the Miami Dolphins.
You talked about it on Thursday, and I was looking more into it about the pre-snap motion stuff that they do. It's so intricate, and some people don't even run pre-snap motion, period. And to see what they're doing, it's crazy.
Yeah, I heard Mike Lombardi say that Mike McDaniel is doing a great job of hiding the weakness on the Miami Dolphins too, which is the offensive line. Nobody talks about that. And I just think McDaniel's probably the best offensive mind in the league right now, innovating, and a lot of the other coaches are trying to copy him. And you're seeing quarterback play down across the league, and I do got to think that some of that has to do with people trying to copy what they're doing, trying to stretch the field, trying to use speed and motion, pre-snap motion and things like that. The Eagles have not shown me a flawless game all year long. The Dolphins have shown you a few of those. It's going to be tough to stop Tyreek Hill. I'm taking the Dolphins. I think that we'll get 52, man. I don't know if the Eagles are going to score enough points. I really don't. I think that the Dolphins are going to put up 31 at least. I think we'll be right there. I'm going to go just under the 52. Dolphins win this one. It's crazy that Philly is favored. I mean, I know they're at home, but I think the Dolphins are going to win this one outright. Tua going to have a big game. We should have put him in the top quarterback section too.
I think the Philly defense is what's giving them that 3.
Yeah.
Has to be a lot to do with the defense. All right, it's going to be a doozy on Sunday night, but we are going to
move on. Before you move on from this
Yes,
game,
sir.
how many times do you think Philadelphia gets to Tua and gets sacks on him?
Yeah, they get rid of the ball so damn fast at
Mm-hmm.
times.
That's why I wanted to bring it up.
Sacks, like just sacks get to him, or
Yep.
I'm gonna say 3. I think they get 3 sacks, 2 or 3.
That's right where I'm at. Right where I'm at. Tua getting rid of that ball quick is going to be an issue for the Philadelphia Eagles, and I think it's going to frustrate them, and then they'll get the plays over the top in return.
All right, time to round it out. San Francisco 49ers. They're 5-1. They are 6.5-point favorites. They are headed to Minnesota to face the Vikings, who are 2-4. Over under is 44 points. Kickoff is at 8:15 p.m. Monday night. San Francisco with a weird loss last week against the Cleveland Browns.
Yep.
That gives me a little bit of worry. I'm not gonna lie, not worry, but not like so easy to be like, oh yeah, give me San Francisco minus 6.5.
Right.
Minnesota sucks. You know that I don't get that necessarily, that feeling. So I am going to take San Francisco to win. I will take the 6.5. I do think they win, but I think Minnesota kind of makes this game a little bit competitive. I think it's like a 7-point game. So I'm going to take the San Francisco 49ers minus a 6.5. And I'll take I'm going to take the under 44.
The under. I like that. Yeah, I like San Francisco in this one minus a 6.5. If Justin Jefferson was playing in this game, I would take the Vikings outright, you know. But the point that you made about losing last week to the Cleveland Browns, that was a good defense. I don't think you're going to be able to beat the 49ers by trying to beat them in a shootout because their defense is really, really good as well. You need a good defense, you know, to be able to hang with them, and the Vikings just don't have that. So give me the 49ers. I'm going to take the over, though. I think that, Kirk Cousins will battle back late, maybe make it like a 8-point game late or something like that, and we get to the over.
Dory Jackson is inactive today.
Yeah, yep, they announced that. And there was somebody else that was inactive as well. Evan Neal, maybe?
Evan Neal, Andrew Thomas, Matt Pert, Jordan Riley, Daniel Jones, John Michael.
That's tough, John Michael Schmidt.
I wanted to sing the song just now. Do you know what it is? John Michael.
Yeah, 4 names, I think.
I can't remember what it is, but yeah.
Not
Shout
enough
out
syllables.
To the 3 name people.
Yeah.
That's going to round it out, ladies and gentlemen. Just in time to give everybody a good 42 dub minutes to prepare yourselves for the game of the century. Sam Howell versus Tyrod Taylor.
It's going to be fun, man. It's going to be fun. I'm looking forward. This is the most excited I've been for a game all year. I was excited last week, too, just to see the change of pace at the quarterback position. I just wanted to see, just how things look. And you saw a backup going there, pretty much put up decent numbers. And this is going to be even better for me because now you get a larger sample size of what Tyrod Taylor can bring to this offense. I think it'll let us know what's up. If he goes out there and he has a really bad game, I think it'll speak volumes for Daniel Jones and what he brings to the offense. If Tyrod goes out there and he has a bigger game than he had last week, I think we got some decisions to make for sure. And I'm glad I'm not the person being paid to make those decisions.
Yeah, that is for damn sure. But, I mean, there's about, I'd say a good couple thousand people that have handles that think that they are getting paid to make those decisions.
Yeah,
but you guys can find.
What do you think about for the flex? JSN, Gus Edwards, Zach Moss, or this running back for the Cardinals, Keontae Ingram?
I think I'd go Zach Moss out of all those guys. Unless DK Metcalf is inactive, then maybe I go JSN.
Good point. I like that. I'll keep my eye on that.
Yeah, so that's where I would go. Big shout out, 64 people rocking across all the platforms, Twitch, Twitter,
Salute.
Facebook, and YouTube. We appreciate all the love.
You know why it got quiet right there like that?
What?
That's that situation settling in.
Yeah.
You know them Commanders about to take this L today.
Okay, can we just do one? We'll do one rapid fire. Commanders, Giants. All right. Who has more sacks today? The Commanders defense. Commanders defense or Giants defense?
Giants defense. Who has more passing yards, Sam Howell or Tyrod Taylor?
Sam Howell.
Tyrod Taylor. Who has more rushing yards, Brian Robinson or Saquon Barkley?
Ooh, Saquon Barkley.
Saquon Barkley. Who has more receiving yards, Jalen Hyatt or Jahan Dotson?
Ooh,
that's a good one, ain't it?
Ooh, that's a tough one. Jahan Dotson, he has to have a breakout game today. But that's tough.
Jalen Hyatt. I'm going Jalen Hyatt. All right.
That's it. We can do that for like 30 minutes.
I might have you on a giant overreaction tomorrow, man. We might kill 2 birds, 1 stone tomorrow.
Okay, you just keep me in the loop. I can basically work around that to a certain extent.
That's what's up, man. So y'all make sure y'all pull up. We're going to be live probably around 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Best of luck with all y'all fantasy vibes today, man. I'm sitting at 2 wins. I'm in a must-win situation. I got to get a win today. Quarterback situation is looking extremely dicey. We appreciate all of y'all pulling up, rocking with us on all platforms, and y'all know what it is, man. Keep raising that bar. Keep living those dreams because the universe flows in Technicolor and surround sound. Rest in peace to the podcast GOAT, Mr. Combat Jack himself. And, man, that's another one, The Beard. In the books, man. We'll see y'all on Monday, man, with either a giant angry overreaction or Victory Monday like none other. Y'all be good. Peace.